Welcome. um, I'm here solo. Uh, and yeah, this is going to be very exciting. It's a lot of news. I have my sleeper app all ready to go. Um, yeah, no, it's going to be a very, very exciting surprise show. Um, and yeah, let's um let's start with a couple of things, and then I'll go through the chat, and then we can, talk about all the news that's coming up. So first, if you're interested, as always, the Patreon is great. The Discord, I always check there first, even when I'm out or whatever. I usually run through the Discord even when I'm not running through my Twitter notifications. So if you want an answer from me quick, you can sign up for that. The $5 tier gets you the Discord. The higher tiers get you Twitter DMs, which is the first thing I check. So if you're interested in not relying on whenever I feel like checking my Twitter notifications, which is, I'll be honest, whenever, you can always sign up for that. I do tend to get to everything on Twitter. I'm more reliable during the season. In the off season, it could take however long. In the off season, I don't care really about my Twitter notifications. I'll get to them if I get to them. I often skip stuff. In season, I do try to get to everyone's questions on Twitter, but if I miss stuff, I miss stuff. My DMs for the Patreons and the Discord are always the priority. So if I miss something, I miss it. I try my best, but I'm human. I get thousands of questions every week, so if I miss something, I miss it, and I am sorry. Especially on Sunday morning, I get 400 questions in 2 hours. I just can't do them all. I try, but I can't. So, it's physically not possible for me to answer all the questions as hard as I try. All right, let's so I have a few. I should have made a show sheet, but I didn't. But I have a few things, and then I'm going to go through my sheet that has all the injuries. I have all the injuries I'm tracking, and if I forget something, hopefully I have them all on there by now. But let's start with this one from Marcus. A questionable T. Higgins or Josh Palmer with crazy upside. So that's a good question. T. Higgins has the concussion, but as we know, with a concussion, you're not sort of healthy. You either clear the concussion protocol and you're good, or you don't and you're not. It's not in between. It's not a knee. It's not like that. It's different. You're either healthy or you're not. There's no in between. So if T. Higgins plays, now, might I downgrade him a little because he didn't participate in the week of, planning and all that? Yes, I could downgrade him a little. Usually I would rank T. Higgins as a low end 1. This week against Dallas, the matchup is good. Where would I rank T. Higgins if he played? I don't know. I have Terry McLaurin at 14 against Detroit. I'm very comfortable with him. Jalen Waddle at 15, Deontay Johnson at 16. I think that's where I would land on T. Higgins. I do not think T. Higgins is going to play. But I have Josh Palmer at 49, wide receiver 49. I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to wait for T. Higgins. He doesn't play. There's going to be somebody that you can throw in there. I'm willing to wait and take my chances. Josh Palmer's just not good enough to take up that spot. It always depends on the exact situation. These questions are difficult. It's always hard. The one thing I really just don't get into, and this is what Patreon is there for, but it's hard for me on Twitter to get into. I can do X or Y, but it's hard for me to, in the notifications, get into if this, then this, then this, then like I can't. I'm just not going to follow such a complicated question on Twitter. But in this situation on YouTube, it's easier for me to go through it because I can talk instead of being limited to 280 characters. I would wait for T. Higgins here. Ed says he'd be afraid. I assume flex Palmer. Yeah, obviously, get your Thursday night players should be in positional spots, not flex spots. I assume, that's not what Ed was saying. But yeah, I don't want to play Josh Palmer. I said it on Twitter that I don't want to play Josh Palmer. I would like to play someone else. Now, to give some examples of players who, maybe you wouldn't think of. Devonta Smith, even though he didn't get anything in week 1, I'd still rather try him. Julio Jones could have been an option for some with Godwin out. Jahan Dotson, maybe. Tyler Lockett, I would still go back to. I really don't want to play Josh Palmer. I really don't. So I'd like to find another option if you could. If you could. But I have him at, wide receiver, what I say, 49? I'm at 50. So you can play him if you have to. You can play him if you have to. I would rather not. I'd rather not. We just answered this. Yeah, I was just kind of going through that. Depends on your exact situation, who else you're taking out. It's difficult, but just straight rankings, I have Palmer at 50, wide receiver 50. So he's a bench in most spots. 3 wide receiver league. Okay. So Justin Jefferson, Gabe Davis, Rashad Bateman, Drake London, Curtis Samuel. Well, I just played Jefferson, Davis, and Bateman there. And then, just go London in the flex over a London. London looked good in week 1. I'm confident. I have full confidence even against the Rams. I mean, I'm a wide receiver 31. That's not full confidence, but that's a start. I mean, you're playing Drake London. Drake London is great. I mean, Josh Palmer has never done anything in his career. He didn't do anything last week. He didn't actually deliver. He did not deliver. So we're just assuming that he's going to deliver this week. But actually, DeAndre Carter delivered more. Josh Palmer played more. I would rather play Josh Palmer over DeAndre Carter, but I don't want to play Josh Palmer. Drake London, to me, is guaranteed volume. And the Rams, I think, are going to throttle the Falcons. Throttle them. And the Falcons will be playing from behind. Drake London, to me, is someone I want in my lineup. Okay. Let's see. Yes, Ed guessed correctly. So these are the links. This is the link to Patreon, and this is the link to my Twitter. How's your day going? Hope it's well. It's been a pretty good day. I've been a little out of it. A little out of it today, but does not matter. I decided to come on the stream because I feel just like I've enjoyed doing solo shows a little bit more. I'm moving. I mean, we know at the very least in season, the article format just doesn't work for me. It takes too long. The article publishes. Who knows when it's going to publish? It feels like it grinds me down. On here, I can just come on here, do the video. It's over, and then it's it. That's it. The content is just there for you. It comes immediately. So I think that, I don't know. I wish I had. We'll see. During the offseason, I do plan to return to articles at some stage because, I won't have any pressure. I don't like writing under like the pressure of needing to do the article because it zaps any passion I have for writing. But I will try to do these surprise live streams. It's not that surprising. I mean, generally big injury news. So I won't typically, I will not record extra shows on Monday. I just won't. I won't record extra shows on Monday. I'll let my whole recap speak for itself. And then I usually won't compete with myself on letting the recap. I'll let the recap have its tail, and then I'll usually let Ask DLF. I do Tuesday night, so I'll do that. Typically, I won't record an extra show on Monday or Tuesday. But if anything crazy happens on Wednesday, or sometimes this is a good spot for me, often like Thursday, middle of the day, if there's just a roundup to do, a lot of stuff I want to talk about. You might see short videos. I did a short video on Keenan Allen. If I only feel like I need a minute or it's just one thing I want to cover, then we might have things like this if I feel like there's multiple things. Just a variety of additional YouTube content. And then I'll have my Start Sit show every Sunday morning, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. The rest of the week, you might see extra content, especially on the days I don't usually record, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, if necessary. All right. Fournette, yes. What about him? I'm going to start him. I have Fournette at running back 9 this week, so I'm playing him with full confidence. Would I start Everett or Goddard? I've had a lot of questions about Gerald Everett. I will say I don't believe in Gerald Everett, the talent. Donald Parham is probably going to be out again, so that does give me a little bit more confidence. I still only moved Gerald Everett up to 10 and 11. I would play him over all the other speculative guys, but I'm still a little bit more confident in, Dallas Goedert, Dalton Schultz, Zach Ertz, players that I had more confidence going into the season. I have Everett at 11. I had him at 19 or whatever last week. If he delivers again, if he's really great again, if he increases his targets, his snap share, all of that. I could move him into the top 10 next week, but I'll stick with him at 11. Go with Goddard, who I have more confidence in right now. Yeah, Goddard there. From Talon. And yeah, keep asking your questions in the chat. I'm going to go through the injuries position by position and just any other news. But I don't believe there's much news outside of injuries. I will see if there's anything I've forgotten, but there hasn't been too much news. It's mostly been injury news. But we'll go through everything. But I want to focus on questions in the chat. So a 12-team Superflex, tight end premium, 2 of these. So Hawk, Chark, J-Rob, Penny. Penny is moving down my ranks a little bit. With Kenneth Walker will play. Do not play Kenneth Walker this week. I don't want to play him. Too risky. But he will play, which reduces my confidence in Penny a little bit because no other running back saw any touches at all last week, really. So I have Penny down at running back 28. Slightly ahead of J-Rob, who I have at 29. And Chark I have at wide receiver, 48. And then Hawk is at tight end 5. So I think I would go with a Hawk and then Penny here. But I appreciate that question. Pick 2, full PPR. Sutton, Mike Williams, Dylan, or Amon-Ra St. Brown. I wouldn't worry about stacking. Let's just play our best player. So here, I will say, I'm playing Mike Williams with full confidence. He burns me. But given some injuries, Mike Williams is now my wide receiver 9. So full confidence on Mike Williams. And then it's going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown, who I have at wide receiver 12. A.J. Dillon is a fair play, someone I would like to play in most spots. I have him at running back 20, but yeah, not over these guys. So I'll take Mike Williams and Amon-Ra. So let's go into the injury. So at quarterback, we know that, we know that Dak Prescott obviously is not going to play. And that means we'll have Cooper Rush. But we've known that. And I do think that'll affect Dallas's options pretty severely. I have CeeDee Lamb down at wide receiver 21, Zeke at running back 22, Tony Pollard I've dropped out of the face of the earth at running back 42. Dalton Schultz I think is affected the least. I still have him at tight end 7. Yeah, I hear you, but you got to play him anyway if you have them. If they're supposed to be played. So yeah, Dak Prescott, we knew he's out. He's going to be out for a while. I do like that the injury news seems to be lightening up a little. And yeah, I'm hoping he comes back soon because this offense needs him. And we know that. Cooper Rush I have at the quarterback 32, last. So don't want to play him. Next on the list, Zach Wilson, we know he's out. It'll be Joe Flacco. And yeah, it was a disaster last week, although there was a lot of volume. So we'll see. It's sad that I'm not sure the offense is going to improve with Zach Wilson. All right, let's go to running back. So I don't know if Damian Williams is going to reappear, but he barely matters for Atlanta. Avery Williams is nice. If you're in a dynasty league, you might want to pick him up. He's like kind of an under the radar stash in dynasty, a running back for the Falcons. All right, Josh Palmer or Dameon Pierce? Well, I have Dameon Pierce running back 37, but I have Josh Palmer, as I said, at wide receiver 50. I think I'm just going to go Josh Palmer. I don't really want to play Dameon Pierce. I do think he is going to get more work. I still have him ranked ahead of Rex Burkhead this week, but I have them both lower. Pierce at 37 and Burkhead at 46. So I don't really want to play either one. Yeah. All right. So some of the other running back injuries, Ken Walker, we already talked about. He's going to play this week, but don't play him. DeAndre Swift, the ankle injury. He has not been able to practice, but I think that DeAndre Swift is still going to play. He seems very confident that he's going to play. Gage, Juju, or DeAndre Carter, easily Juju. And yeah. DeAndre Swift, I still expect to play. We'll see if anything changes, but when you're making your decisions for tonight, I would assume you have DeAndre Swift. J.K. Dobbins, the focus of this video, the thumbnail, he returned to a full practice 2 days in a row, so he's going to play. I'd rather not play J.K. Dobbins. I'd like to see one game. I have him at running back 33. I really don't want to play him. I think this could be the kind of thing where he's active and he is there, but he does not really get a full workload. I'd like to wait a week to have him running back 33. He's someone I'd like to sit. I don't want to play J.K. Dobbins. Then next on the list is Alvin Kamara with the ribs. I am slightly concerned. They signed Latavius Murray to the practice squad. As of now, I would expect Alvin Kamara to play, but unlike DeAndre Swift, I am a little bit more worried about Alvin Kamara. So I've dropped him to running back 13. He didn't really look good in week 1. Didn't get the workload we wanted. Yeah, I don't know about Alvin Kamara, but I do think he'll play, and you probably have to play him. You're going to sit Alvin Kamara? I don't think so. So, yeah, you probably have to play him. And then Najee Harris has the foot Liz Frank situation. He looked bad, but again, with the volume, we know that the Steelers give their number 1 running back all the volume. I think, unfortunately, you're going to have to play Najee Harris if he's active. I have him at running back 15, so it's possible if you're in a Dynasty league, you have a stack team, you have really great options. You can play him or sit him, but running back 15 is a start in almost every situation. So I think you're going to unfortunately have to play Najee Harris. As much as that sucks, I think you have to play him. So then let's move to wide receiver. Keenan Allen tonight out. We had my video on that. Bateman, Allen Robinson, or ETN in the flex. Can't play ETN this week. I have him outside my top 30, or I have him exactly 30 at running back. And then between Robinson and Bateman, I have Robinson at 28 and Bateman actually at 27, 1 spot higher. So I'll lean Bateman, but it is very close. So let's get back to the wide receivers. So Keenan Allen, hamstring out. We know that. We talked about that. Chris Godwin, hamstring. It's not this week. We're thinking about maybe he'll play week 3, but I think for Chris Godwin, we're more looking at week 4 or 5. Van Jefferson has the knee. You're not playing him anyway, but he doesn't seem like he's going to be ready. Michael Gallup, the Cowboys definitely could use him, but I think that we're a week away with Michael Gallup, at least. I don't anticipate Michael Gallup being a factor this week, but he could be a factor when he comes back. Rondale Moore, I haven't really heard anything about Rondale Moore. He hasn't been practicing. I'm going to say probably no Rondale Moore this week, and even if he does play, not playing him. The T. Higgins concussion, because he's probably one of these only players that you'd really want to play. I'm going to lean that he doesn't play. Concussions, I would say most of the time it's a week missed. Though he missed today's practice due to a personal reason, I'm going to lean that he doesn't play. Leaning that way. But again, with a concussion, if he plays, you can play him. So I'm leaning that he doesn't play, though. Alec Pierce also has a concussion. You're not playing him anyway, and I don't think he plays. Okay, so back to other guys that I think will play. Alan Lazard is back at practice. I don't even know what this is. I don't know what this means. Should I trade Javonte Williams for CeeDee Lamb and Ramondre Stevenson in what? But I would say no. Probably not. Probably not. I'll keep Javonte Williams. So yeah, continuing along with injuries. Alan Lazard, ankle injury. I believe he will play. It seems like he's back. I have him right now at wide receiver 38. He's off the injury report entirely. I could move him up a few more spots. I'm not going to move him that high, but in his first game back, I'd still rather have guys like Elijah Moore, Drake London. But yeah, he's someone he'll be in wide receiver 3 range if he's fully healthy. And I expect him to play, although we'll see how healthy he is. Now, Michael Pittman. This one, we went from limited on Wednesday to not practicing today. I am concerned that Michael Pittman is not going to play. I don't know where this quad injury came from. Right now, I have him at wide receiver 11, just based on the concerns. If Michael Pittman is active, you have to play him against Jacksonville. You have no choice, no matter how bad the news is. So, unfortunately, you will have to play him if he's active. So, I would wait for him and see what happens. But, yeah, it's a little scary. Wan'Dale Robinson has a knee injury. I have no idea if he's going to play or not. You're not going to play him anyway. And then Mike Evans has a calf. He hasn't been practicing. I wouldn't worry about Mike Evans playing, I would have slight concern with Mike Evans' effectiveness. If he doesn't practice at all, Mike Evans is one of the few players I think can go DNP, DNP, DNP and still play. Not many players can do that. And I do expect him to play. And if he plays without Chris Godwin, you have to play him. Even against New Orleans, and even with the injury, you can't sit him. You have to play Mike Evans, unfortunately. So I think that's it for injuries at wide receiver, unless I missed someone. Tight end, really the only injury at tight end. I mean, Zach Ertz is still recovering, but he's going to play. Played last week. The only real relevant injury at tight end is George Kittle, who once again missed practice with the groin. And I am saying that I do not believe we're going to have George Kittle this week. I don't know how far away George Kittle is from returning. I don't think it's this week, and I am very concerned about George Kittle long term. I don't know where this injury came from. I don't know when he's coming back, but I'm worried. I'm worried about George Kittle. So, yeah, do not count on George Kittle this week. I would say that if you have Gerald Everett and there's no one else on waivers, and if your choice is between playing Gerald Everett now and like getting Robert Tonyan later or waiting for George Kittle, I would just play Gerald Everett. I think the chances of George Kittle playing are minimal, like 10% or so. Do not expect George Kittle this week. Don't plan on it. And I think that's it for the injuries. There was a couple other things. I mean, Mac Jones is back, but he'll play. His back injury, he's going to play. So yeah, no, I just wanted to hop on and give a couple of updates, take a couple of questions. I like coming on here and, just discussing things. And yeah, if you like this video, as always, make sure to like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell. And then I wanted to mention this at the top of the show, but I forgot. If you're looking for, something new, you check out Boost Fantasy Sports and their Twitter account at Boost_fantasy. And then they have a bunch of Boost leagues and, they're a new growing site. And just look through my Twitter feed, I think is the best place, more so than on here. It's harder to explain in words. But yeah, look through my Twitter feed or any retweets or quote tweets I do for them or of them. And, it'll be very apparent what they're doing. But I did retweet the results of their Boost Bowl. I thought was interesting. And then, of course, my Twitter is at TylerFFCreator, which you can find there. There's a link in the show comments or the show description, and also a link to Patreon in the show description. So then, yeah, I'm excited for tonight's game. Chargers and Chiefs should be a lot of fun. And you might see me live tweeting. You might not. Depends on how I'm feeling. But until you never know. I never know if I'll be back on here. But if not, Sunday morning, 11:30 a.m. Eastern on here and on the DLF YouTube with the live start sit show. So I will see you then. Anyway, peace.